My name is Mzwandile Mnyayiza, very well known as Chef Hector. I entered the Young Chef of the Year competition, which I was a runner-up on that, which really put me out in the map as a young up-and-coming chef. I was then approached by a gentleman who wanted to open a restaurant called the Three Chefs Bistro. Basically, his philosophy was to open up a restaurant with 3 award-winning chefs. So off we went and we opened a restaurant up in Mhlanga in 2008 called the Three Chefs Bistro, which was a fine dining restaurant, as I was Frenchly trained in terms of cuisines. Yes, I then decided to move up to Plettenberg Bay, where I was offered the position of head chef and general manager in 2010. I'm basically being homesick, having been a Durban boy my whole life, came back to Durban, got an opportunity to be an executive sous chef at Sibaya Casino at the Equa restaurant, which was a seafood and sushi restaurant. I was there for about 2 years. My exec chef left and I was given the position of exec chef. COVID hit. I mean, we were sitting at home for about 6 months and it was quite difficult as a chef. You know, we're always on our feet, we're always moving around. So I started cooking a lot for the family. My wife and I will post on social networks and stuff. And a friend of mine once said, hey, chef, why don't you sell me one of your meals that you do? So obviously, when the restrictions were kind of relaxed a bit, we were able to drive out. I did a delivery for him. He posted on his social networks. And then that's how the business actually started, Chef Hector's Table. That was during COVID, because hotels could only open on level 1. So we kind of needed some kind of income as we were not on a full salary. So we got an idea to say, hey, why don't we do this full time, basically. So we did that, delivering meals, and then we moved on to doing private dinners, as people couldn't go to restaurants and they wanted to celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, intimate dinners. So we started doing that. Towards the end of the year, we had to go back to work. I still carried on with the business, but unfortunately I couldn't carry on because I was still working for the Maslow, so I had to stop. And I realized that this is something that I really wanted to do. So I then handed in my resignation in November, served my notice, and I was out of there in 2020, end of December. Started Chef Hector's Table 2021, and I've ran with it ever since. Probably the challenges that I've had in running a small business is basically getting cash flow, you know, because running a business in catering, you basically need cash flow. You need to buy products. And obviously, the bigger the event gets, you need to hire more people to help you out. So what we decided to do, because also our son went back to school, so the nanny had a lot of time on her hands. During the day, before she would start her work in the house, I would basically train her, I will take her along with me to some of the functions that I used to do. So that basically also empowered her, because she's no longer just a nanny anymore. You know, she can cook, she can run functions. And then what small business has done basically is that a lot of people also lost their jobs during the COVID pandemic. And I've been able to hire on temporary work some of the waitrons that I know of that have basically been sitting at home. So it's also has created basically employment for a lot of people that are out there. So that's the story about Chef Hector at the moment, yeah. The response has been really, really great. You know, I think I'll say that it all comes down to good customer service, and social media has really played a big role. You know, I always tell the younger chefs that are up and coming that whatever you post on social media, make sure it's positive. Whatever you post on social network, make sure it's about yourself, because you're building a brand. So I rely a lot on basically on people that I service, them going back to social network and tagging me onto their profiles and thanking me basically. So yeah, that's how I normally carry on with the business, yes. So basically we provide catering, any catering we do. So basically I normally categorize it to 3 basic meals, which is basically the delivery service, where a client gets in contact with us, we give him the menu or her, Then they basically choose what they would like to have. We then prepare the meals, get the meals delivered to them, or we come to your home, or we come to your function venue, or we come to your office. We've done a couple of events just after COVID where we do full DCPs, as we've seen that companies are slowly getting back to the boardrooms. So basically we'll serve morning tea breaks, we'll serve lunch, we'll serve afternoon tea breaks. And the one that's really, really popular are the lunches, basically, where we do birthday lunches, where we do dinners, birthday dinners. We normally do like romantic anniversary dinners that we do 2 people, 4 people, where we come into your home. I normally use your kitchen. We do a whole setup. We have got a waitron. We do a wine pairing that we do for you, and that's one of the biggest things that we do at the moment. Yes. Coming from Durban and being classically trained, we know that the French are really the people that we look up to, but with times have changed, people are coming up with different cuisines. Every country is coming up with their own recipes. So when I basically was coming up through the industry, we were learning things about basic sauces, your hollandaise, your demi-glaze. So I wouldn't really classify myself as a particular type of chef. I enjoy my spices, I cook a lot of curries. I also cook a lot of French dishes that I cook. I think what sets me apart is I'm really passionate about what I do, and it really shows onto the plates that I put out there to my clients, and the service that I provide to clients is that the passion that I have, is you really need to be passionate about it. And I always get asked the question, where is the best restaurant to eat? And I always say to the people, go to the place where the chef is the owner, is in the kitchen, and the wife is running it, because they've invested their whole lives on it. So you'll get the best service, you'll get the best food, basically. So yeah, I really do enjoy playing with a lot of flavors in terms of curries, infusing some of that French cuisine into my Durban flavors that I do. Coming up to the inland parts, in Johannesburg, people are not really into spicy food. So we've had to kind of introduce them slowly into spicy food and basically not over killing their palates and making it too hot. So it's just, my signature dish that I really, really love to do, that was really passed down to me by a chef called Chef Luke, is a chicken and prawn curry. That's probably one of the best dishes that I prepare, yes. So basically I am on social media as Mzwandile on Facebook, and on Instagram, Chef Hector, Chef Hector's Table. You find me on Instagram. I post a lot of food up there. I post all my contact details. My emails are on there. You can get hold of me through Instagram. That's where I am at the moment. And it's been really tough for the industry in hospitality. I know that the young chefs out there are feeling a bit down because there are no jobs that are coming. But I think the industry is picking up, and the leaders out there are really doing a great job in making sure that the youth are getting the opportunities. And any advice that I could give to young chefs is that once you qualified, once you graduate, go out and venture into the world. Go work in a cruise ship, go work overseas, get some experience, and then obviously come back home with that experience and open your own business.